June 2005, Patrick uploaded the hot coffee mod to GTA Garage.com.
Oh, that's so bad.
It was downloaded over 1 million
That's bad.
times within 4 weeks.
Y'all some gooners though. I ain't gonna lie. The girls in this game don't even look bad enough to like warrant playing this. It'll be one thing if it was like Detroit Become Human, like graphics, but San Andreas box. That's what a million of y'all are resorting to. And today we got video games banned for being too controversial. This is a video by Visual Venture. You already know the vibes. 1 curse, 3 push-ups. I don't really got much else to say, so let's just get straight into this. I'm not too versed in video games to know what could even be banned or what has been banned. My hair looks crazy.
This definitely takes the cake as probably the most violent thing I've played.
I think it is crazy for anyone to make a game where students are taught to beat their teachers up.
You're talking about bullying?
We are determined to stop a situation in which video games and violent content are being peddled to our children.
I've never understood this. I would venture to say gaming does not do that big of a gaming is not doing that big of a damage, and it's kind of annoying when politicians and lawmakers and just adults in general hyper fixate on that, because it's no one's gonna play Call of Duty and then go out and catch a body. I really don't. I would even venture to say music has more of an effect than video games.
Games are
And even the music don't really be affecting too much.
supposed to be fun, but some games are so disturbing that certain countries
Unless it's some crazy stuff. Unless there's some genuinely crazy stuff in this.
made them illegal. Today, we're looking at video games banned for being too controversial.
Bully and Roblox. Okay, bro.
You might have some of them right now, but in other parts of the world, it's a crime to play or even own these games. So my goal this year is to give you guys double the amount of videos without sacrificing quality, and to do that, we gotta keep growing. So 70% of you guys aren't subscribed, and it would mean the world to me if you did, and I promise to do my very best for you. Hydrate yourselves and enjoy. I'm Visual. Visual Venture, and you are awesome. Bully. In 2005,
Bully is crazy, bro.
Rockstar Games announced a new game. It was called Bully, and just the name made people freak out.
They coming out with a game where children can beat their teachers up. Children can.
He look like an old version of Agent on the low, bro. Am I tripping for thinking that? He dead looks like Agent 00, and I don't know why.
Beat their classmates up.
These are things that are depicted in the game.
In the game, right.
The game wasn't even out yet, but people assumed that a game called Bully would make bullying seem cool, and that might increase violence in school.
Isn't in this game? I've never played this game. I might play it on my gaming channel. Isn't he the good guy? Is it? I've seen videos of him getting beat up by nerds, bro. I don't think that's the point of the game.
As the complaints increased, Rockstar defended their game. They said it wasn't about being a bully, it was about fighting them. In the game, players controlled a character named Jimmy Hopkins. Jimmy was a student at Bulworth Academy, but Jimmy wasn't a bully. He protected weaker kids from bullies. That explanation calmed things down in the US, but in places like the UK and Australia, people still wanted it banned. So the creators of the game decided to change something. They renamed the game in certain countries. The new title was Canis Canem Edit. That means dog.
Yo, you trying to play some Canis Canem Edit tonight? Oh, dang it. I gotta start remembering. I gotta start remembering. I gotta start remembering. The bit don't even hit the same no more. And these white ass pants that I got on.
eat dog in Latin, but apart from the name change, everything else in the game stayed the same. In 2006, Bully was finally released, and when people actually played it, it wasn't nearly as dangerous as they expected. It was given a teen rating in the US and a 15 rating.
I think I want to play this on my gaming channel. You know, let me write it down. I do think I want to.
In the UK, but that didn't end the drama. Some powerful people still wanted this game gone.
Bro, hop off Johnson.
Jack Thompson was a lawyer famous for fighting against violent.
Why though? Like, why though? You're not stopping anything, bro. I promise you're not stopping.
Video games. And Bully was next on his list. He didn't care that the game was about stopping bullies. He believed it was way too violent for kids. So Thompson took Rockstar Games to court. He wanted Bully banned forever, off the shelves and out of homes. Unfortunately, things didn't go his way. Before making a final ruling, the judge did something unexpected. He played the game himself. After seeing what Bully was really like, he ruled that there was no reason to ban.
Thank you, bro. Like, that's so stupid.
This meant gamers in the US could keep playing Bully, but in Brazil, it was a different story. In 2008, the Brazilian government started cracking down on violent video games. Bully was one of their main targets. A Brazilian court declared the game was too violent for young children and teenagers. The judge added, the aggravating factor is that everything in the game takes place inside a school.
It's called Bully.
Stores in Brazil were given 30 days to pull it off the shelves. Anyone caught selling or even owning the game would have to pay a fine. Brazilian gamers smuggled pirated copies into the country, but the ban stayed in place for almost 10 years. It wasn't until 2016 that the ban was finally lifted.
Okay. Oh, I thought they banned it in 2016. I was be like, that's like 8 years after the game.
For the next game on our list, the controversy was because of one little girl.
Talk to me.
Mariam. If you've ever played a horror game, you're used to
Absolutely not.
jump scares and creepy music.
I am not used to.
Mariam was scary in a different way. Players said the game was watching them, studying them like a stalker. Mariam was released in 2017.
Okay, I might agree with this.
It was created by a developer from Saudi Arabia. It starts out like a typical horror game. You meet a pale girl with ghostly white hair standing alone in the dark. Her name is Mariam. She says she's lost and asks you to help her find her way home. At first, she asks for directions. Then she starts asking you personal questions like, where do you live? What's your Facebook account? Those
Facebook account?
personal questions in the game made players uneasy. They began to suspect that Mariam was trying to trick them into giving away personal information, and that suspicion quickly turned into a rumor. Soon, police in the UAE caught wind of it. They issued a warning, telling the public not to play Mariam, just in case the game was trying to steal their data. The game's creator quickly denied the rumors. He said the personal questions were just meant to scare players. There was no ulterior motive. To calm everyone down, he even let tech experts look into the game's code. They found
that's
that nothing suspicious. But even if Mariam wasn't stealing data, people still didn't like it. Many players claimed the game was too sinister.
Oh, brother. There's much worse out there.
Received a lot of negative reviews on game stores.
It's inappropriate and sick of someone to make such a game that can damage people's minds and lives.
As more people
I saw one that said the game is not good for babies. It's a horror game. Why is your baby even on an iPad anyway? If you don't go outside, if you don't read her a Juniper Jones book, what are we talking about? I've never understood that. Like, it is not the game developer's responsibility to censor their game for your kid who's on the internet unsupervised, bro. That doesn't even kind of make sense.
Complained the hashtag ban Mariam game trended across the Middle East. And in 2018, the UAE officially banned Mariam. They claimed the game was damaging to children's health. You've definitely heard of this next game.
Children shouldn't even be playing the game.
But you probably don't realize that it has a dark past.
That's like me banning alcohol because children are getting drunk. They shouldn't be drinking. I don't like this camera angle, bro. Yeah. Yeah, these white ass pants. All right, bet.
GTA San Andreas.
Oh yeah, I could. Okay.
In 2002, Rockstar Games
The government do not like GTA.
Started creating GTA San Andreas. The GTA series was already a hit, mainly because of the crime, chaos, and violence. But Sam Houser, the co-founder of Rockstar Games, wanted to push the limits. With GTA San Andreas, he didn't just want violence, he wanted to add bedroom scenes. So the developers created a part of the game where players could engage in intimate acts with in-game characters.
And
I see.
it was more than a simple cutscene. No, it was a fully playable time minigame.
The minigame was pretty simple. First, your in-game girlfriend would invite you in for coffee.
You want to have some coffee?
If you said yes, you entered a room where you controlled all the action, if you get what I mean. But there was just one problem. Because the minigame contained adult content, GTA San Andreas would get an adults-only rating.
I've never even heard of that rating.
Adults-only games can only be sold to adults. That meant Rockstar could lose millions of dollars in sales because kids wouldn't be able to buy it. The company didn't want to lose money, so at the last minute they decided to remove the minigame. However, GTA San Andreas was almost done, so removing it was complicated. That's when they came up with a really bad idea. Instead of fully deleting the intimate bedroom scene, they buried it deep inside the game's code. They assumed no one would discover it.
Of course they would. Of course they would. What?
They were wrong. In October 2004, GTA San Andreas launched, and within a month, a gamer named Patrick W. discovered the hidden
How? How do you discover
minigame. But Patrick W. wasn't just a regular gamer, he was also a modder. He started messing with the game's code and figured out how to unlock the hidden minigame. From there, he developed the Hot Coffee mod. With this mod, anyone playing GTA San Andreas on a PC could access the explicit
that's bad looks. That's bad looks because it's not even a mod. Like, it's actually in the game. Like, the game developers made the 3D models, made the animation, made it playable. Like, it would be one thing if he did all of that. But no, this is within the game. This is within a product that these people purchase, bro. That's bad looks.
bedroom content. In June 2005, Patrick uploaded the Hot Coffee mod to GTA Garage.
Oh, that's so bad.
It was downloaded over 1 million
That's bad.
times within 4 weeks.
Y'all some gooners, though. I ain't gonna lie. The girls in this game don't even look bad enough to warrant playing this. It'll be one thing if it was like Detroit Become Human, graphics, but San Andreas box. That's what a million of y'all are resorting to.
Now, players all over the world had access to an explicit minigame with a bedroom scene, and they loved it. Game chat rooms were buzzing with excitement, but soon people started to realize what this actually meant, and it wasn't good. When GTA San Andreas was first released, it was rated mature. That meant only kids 17 and older were allowed to buy it. But now, the Hot Coffee mod unlocked bedroom scenes, making the game inappropriate for anyone under 18. The problem was, thousands of kids already bought it. In other words, an adult game was in the hands of children. Parents and politicians were furious.
We are determined to stop a situation in which video games and violent content are being peddled to our children.
Parents didn't just want the explicit minigame removed. They wanted GTA San Andreas banned. During the controversy, Rockstar released a statement. They acted like they didn't create the adult
Now when you get caught with your hand in the cookie jar, bro, that's
minigame. Instead, they blamed the modders for adding it. Other gamers turned against Patrick W. They accused him of ruining San Andreas' reputation. As people ranted in the gaming
the thing is, why would they do that? Because Rockstar knows and bro knows that he did not add that into the game. So obviously he's gonna be like, yo, I didn't do it.
forums, one player made a key point. They can't blame Patrick W for this mod because he didn't make it, he just enabled it. And that's when the Entertainment Software Rating Board launched an investigation. They had one big question. Was this adult minigame really modded in by players, or had Rockstar hidden it all along? It didn't take long to figure it out.
That this content wasn't created by the modding community, it was there all along, and Rockstar must have known this.
Rockstar was caught red-handed. Once the truth came out, things went downhill for Rockstar Games.
At the Federal Trade
Bro, situations like that will really bankrupt their Come on, bro. Situations like that will really bankrupt a company too, bro.
Commission should investigate the publication of the video game Grand Theft Auto San Andreas to determine if the publisher intentionally deceived the Entertainment Software Ratings Board to avoid an adults-only rating.
Before
That's exactly what they did.
Rockstar could respond, the ratings board made a decision. They changed San Andreas' rating from mature to adults only. It was the first GTA game to get an adults only rating, and that had serious consequences.
With many retailers across the US just pulling San Andreas altogether while it has an adults only rating.
Since it was now an adult game, hundreds of stores in the US pulled it from their shelves. The game was also banned in Australia and many Asian countries. There was only one way Rockstar could fix this mess.
They had to remake the game?
They recalled all copies of GTA San Andreas. Then they removed the explicit minigame and released a version that couldn't run the hot coffee mod. That lifted the ban in Australia, but the damage was done. The scandal and recall cost Rockstar millions of dollars in sales. And even after the release, San Andreas,
which is so crazy because they didn't take it out to avoid the scandal. I mean, to avoid losing millions, and then they ended up losing millions as a result. That's hilarious.
Remained banned in several Asian countries. This next game was accused.
It's like, if you're taking years on a product, be thorough. Like, oh my,
Accused of embarrassing an entire country. Battlefield 4. In the early 2010s, Battlefield was one of the best first-person shooter games around. It was actually one of my favorite games back then. Battlefield 1, 2, and 3 were insanely popular, so when Battlefield 4 was announced, fans expected another great game. And that's exactly what they got. Battlefield 4 launched in October 2013, and it was an instant hit. But just 2 months later, that game sparked an international crisis. In December 2013, EA released the first DLC for Battlefield 4. They called it China Rising. China Rising had cool maps, weapons, and missions, but the story was extremely controversial.
Yep, I could see that.
In the game, a Chinese admiral tries to overthrow the government. To stop him, the US military has to swoop in and save the day. China's government did not like this story. In fact, they hated it. Officials called the game a national security threat. They said it made China look bad in the eyes of the world. Chinese news reports labeled it a new form of cultural penetration and aggression. Everyone thought China would just ban the DLC, but the government had a much bigger plan. China banned the entire game.
And Battlefield 4 just can't seem to catch a break. In addition to connectivity.
Oh shoot, Rooster Teeth. Who remembers this? Oh my god. What a freaking throwback.
Activity issues over the weekend, the game has also been banned in China for endangering Chinese national security.
China ordered stores in the country to remove every copy of Battlefield 4. Chinese websites weren't even allowed to mention the game. It was the first time China banned a game in more than 8 years. Some Chinese players tried to avoid the ban by smuggling the game in from other countries, but the government blocked those moves. They made it impossible to find the game anywhere in China. Battlefield 4 was popular all over the world, but in China, it was like it never existed. Gamers love it when a game tries something new, but in this next story, being different got this game banned. Carmageddon.
I don't even know what that is.
Carmageddon came out in the late 90s, but it wasn't your...
That is a face. That is a very interesting looking face, bro. I don't like how passionately you are driving this car. I don't know if he's gripping the wheel because he's operating it or because he's it, bro. I'm not gonna lie. It just looks too sensual.
Usual racing game. Instead of punishing reckless driving, the game rewarded it. Players were encouraged to smash cars, run over pedestrians, and destroy everything.
Okay, that's bad. There's no story, there's no plot. Okay. This is crazy.
In sight. The more chaos they caused on the road, the more points they got.
Bro, at least GTA has like a story to it, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're a gang member, you have like a rival gang, da-da-da-da-da. You're just supposed, the story of this is drive and hit things. Come on,
Gamers thought Carmageddon was awesome, but for governments around the world, it was a serious problem. They felt the
I'm not even too mad at this.
Game encouraged reckless driving, and that could lead to real-life danger on the roads. To stop that from happening, some countries took drastic measures. Several countries, including Brazil and Argentina, banned Carmageddon completely. But in the UK, it turned into a messy back and forth. Every game sold in the UK had to be approved by the British Board of Film Classification, or BBFC. But when the BBFC saw Carmageddon, they refused to give it a rating until the violent parts were removed. Without the rating, the game couldn't be sold in the UK.
Oh, and it has blood.
Okay. Carmageddon creators fought
this game was getting cooked
back. They said the violence was no worse than what you'd see in Tom and Jerry.
I ain't never seen Tom hit Jerry with a car, twin. Nor did I see blood splatters afterwards.
But the BBFC didn't budge.
That John looked like an episode of Invincible.
Carmageddon needed to be less gory, or it'd never be sold in the UK. Eventually, the game developers gave in. They made a new version where pedestrians were replaced with zombies, and instead of red blood, they had green goo. That way, it wouldn't look like it was encouraging real-life violence. The authorities were satisfied and allowed the game to be released in the UK. But what happened next made the BBFC look like fools. Not long after the censored version was released, something strange showed up online. It was a patch for the game, and it brought everything back.
Okay, that's
Zombies were swapped out for humans again. Green goo turned into red blood. It turns out that the patch was created by one of the original developers who worked on Carmageddon. Even worse, the game's publishers knew about it, but they didn't lift a finger to stop it. When the BBFC found out, they were furious. They felt tricked. First, the publishers got the rating by censoring the game. Then, they secretly brought back the violent version
That's slick.
with a hidden patch. The BBFC took the game to court. For 10 months, they battled it out in court. But in the end, the BBFC lost. The BBFC's decision to ban the game was overturned, and the original Carmageddon,
they won,
full of blood and gore, was released in the UK. Most games get banned because of what's in them, but this next game got in trouble because of what the players were doing. Roblox. I know we all know what Roblox is, but what
happened with Roblox?
you probably didn't know was that it was banned in an entire country. Roblox is one of the biggest online gaming platforms in the world, but behind all the fun and games, there's a dark side. Roblox is filled with young kids, but it also has a huge number of adult players. And when you put those two groups together, bad things can happen. Roblox has become a hunting ground for preds. Every year, there are new reports of this happening.
Parents, beware. Monsters are...
My thing is, how do you go from Roblox to real life? How did he, wrong button. How did he actually pull that off? First off, ill. Second off, I've never understood that.
Are among us. Police said the 13-year-old girl met Graham on Roblox.
Despite all the stories, it doesn't look like Roblox is doing enough to stop it. Roblox has a history of ignoring problems that don't directly affect their profits. It's almost like all they care about is money. Back in 2022, I said something that can still apply today. I mean, to me, it's pretty clear that Roblox doesn't see its users as people. To them, we're just walking money bags waiting to be emptied. At the time, I was talking specifically about Roblox's payment system, but in a way, it applies to the platform as a whole. It seems that Roblox's top priority isn't safety, it's making money. They focus on getting more users and growing their business. Everything else, including protecting young users, comes second. Since Roblox isn't doing enough, some countries decided to act. One of them was Turkey. On August 7th, 2024, Turkey officially banned Roblox. They released a statement saying they did it to ensure the protection of Turkish children. At first, Turkey banning Roblox didn't seem like a big deal. That was until people realized Turkey had the 5th largest Roblox player base in the world. Roblox didn't want to lose millions of users, so they tried to negotiate with Turkish officials to lift the ban, but the government wouldn't budge. Turkey refused to let Roblox back in. After that, other countries started thinking about banning Roblox too. This means that if Roblox doesn't take safety more seriously,
a bunch of countries will just...
more bans could be on the way. This next game was banned because people feared it could turn players
I thought we were gonna go deeper into that.
into substance addicts. Fallout 3. Open world.
Fallout 3 promotes substance?
World games promise freedom. You can go anywhere, do anything, and shape the story how you want. But this game took that idea to the extreme. In Fallout 3, players can use different substances to heal or get stronger. One of those substances was morphine, but there was a big problem. Morphine is a real substance. It's so addictive that it's illegal to have it without a prescription. This meant anyone playing Fallout 3 was introduced to this real-world illegal substance. Even worse, in-game characters could get addicted to morphine just
crazy.
like what happens in real life. When Fallout 3 reached Australia, the rating board said the game promoted drug use, so they banned it. This was a disaster for the game developers. Australia was a huge market and
why name it morphine? Why not name it No, that was uncreative. Why not name it? Bro, just do berries. Just do berries and potions, bro. Just do berries and potions.
Losing it could cost them millions. To get the game released, they changed morphine to Med-X. The
yeah, something like that.
name removed the real-world connection and the ban was lifted. But Australia wasn't the only country that had a problem with Fallout 3. When German authorities saw the game's brutal combat scenes, they refused to approve it because it was way too violent. The game's developers were forced to remove most of the graphic content, and when they did, Fallout 3 was released in Germany. But Fallout's problems weren't over. Japan also had an issue with the game.
Oh, brother!
In one mission, players could set off a nuclear bomb.
Never mind. Never mind. If there's anyone that could ban that, it's them. It's them. Okay.
Fortunately, Japan has a tragic history with nuclear attacks, so this part of the game was deeply offensive to them. To avoid getting banned, the developers removed the bombing mission from the Japanese version. But even after all that, Fallout wasn't done causing trouble, and this time there was no fixing it. In the game, players run into two-headed mutant cows called Brahmin, but in India, this caused outrage. Brahmin is a Hindu word. Furthermore, more cows are sacred in Hinduism. Many Indians felt the game was being disrespectful, but unlike other countries like Australia or Germany, India
I don't think that's related though. Well, no, Brahmin, the word. Never mind, the word.
Didn't ask for changes. They just banned Fallout 3, and to this day, it's still banned in India. When this next game got banned, no one was surprised. It was just too extreme. Manhunt 1 and 2.
Never heard of this.
Manhunt was released in 2003, and it's still one of the most controversial games ever. In the game, you play as James Earl Cash. Cash is a death row inmate about to be executed by lethal injection, but right before it happens, he wakes up. He realizes he was just sedated. Then a mysterious voice starts speaking to Cash. The voice introduces himself as the director. He tells Cash there's one way out, one last shot at freedom, but only if Cash follows his instructions.
Do exactly as I say, and this will be over before the night is out.
The problem is that the director's instructions are all about ending lives. Cash is told to hunt down enemies and take them out using whatever he can find. Glass shards, baseball bats, plastic bags, anything.
The whole point of the game is just to catch bodies.
Becomes a weapon. What made Manhunt even worse was how real it all felt. The people Cash hunted in the game showed fear and desperation. And then came the twist. Cash found out he was actually starring in a snuff film. All his brutal acts were being filmed by the director.
Oh, that's crazy.
You're doing fine, Cash, just fine. We're getting some great material here.
The game also had kidnapping, substances, and so many more illegal acts I can't even tell you guys.
Who is at the drawing board coming up with this?
All in all, Manhunt was deeply disturbing and people were furious. The game was even called a murder simulator. In the
I don't think that's crazy to say.
The US, parents and politicians demanded an immediate ban.
See, I could see them hating this, but hating Bully in GTA is just insane to me.
They were scared the game might inspire real-life aggression, especially among young people. But somehow, Manhunt slipped through. It was never banned in the US, but other countries weren't as forgiving. New Zealand, Malaysia, South Korea, and Saudi Arabia all banned Manhunt as soon as it was released. But that was nothing compared to...
Yeah. No, that one's just bad. That one's just bad, bro. Like, what the heck? But hey, man, that's gonna be the video. I hope you guys liked it. I'll catch you guys in the next one. That's gonna be it for me. Peace.